Divine Revelation, 7 Miraculous Reasons You Were Born into This Family's Sacred Contract. In the quaint village of Larkhill, a whisper roamed like the wind, stirring deep within every heart. You've been chosen. You carry the weight of your family's sacred contract. The air felt charged, thick with possibility, as Elizabeth, a devoted single mother, knelt beneath the historic chapel's shadow, seeking solace. It was here she kept her anguished secrets, her beloved husband gone too soon, leaving her with Emma and Benjamin, the light of her life. People marveled at her resilience, but behind closed doors, murmurs blossomed. Is she still one of us? They'd ask, judging her sorrow as a sign of fractured faith. Yet night after night, under the twinkling stars, Elizabeth sought the counsel of St. Jude. Guide me through this darkness, she prayed, weaving tears with whispers of desperate hope. Then, one extraordinary night, an electric warmth encircled her, filling her heart with an overwhelming sense of divine presence. Your trials are sacred, a voice echoed in her spirit, revealing a truth grander than her sorrows. Clarity washed over her like morning light breaking through the mist, their lives interwoven with an ancient tapestry of purpose, divine threads guiding them towards grace. The next dawn brought miraculous waves crashing over the village. The elderly Mr. Thompson, once burdened by illness, arose singing praises, declaring himself healed. His joyful voice rang throughout Larkhill, igniting a renewed spirit among the villagers. And as Elizabeth observed her children's bubbling excitement, she caught a glimpse of something hidden, a legacy wrapped in the stories of a forgotten martyr, standing true to Christ amidst chaos. Now filled with courage, Elizabeth felt compelled to unveil the mysteries swirling around them. Under the bright blue sky, she gathered the villagers, her voice trembling yet resolute. Witness the power of faith, she called, sharing her children's discoveries. Each tale mirrored their saint's unwavering spirit, stirring awe and igniting flickers of belief where skepticism once festered. Look! Can you feel it? Exclaimed a parishioner, her eyes wide with realization. Elizabeth felt the palpable tension as doubt and belief wove through the crowd like shadows and light. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, yet doubt lingered. Miracle or coincidence? Clung in the air. Some questioned if they could dare believe the magic unfolding before them. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's children delved deeper into their family's past, uncovering layer upon layer of divine purpose that bound their fates like roots of ancient trees. Was this more than mere coincidence? With each revelation, Elizabeth felt the stirring of destiny within her soul. Hope surged like an unquenchable fire, but the village stood divided, teetering on the edge of belief and skepticism. As sacred mysteries beckoned from the shadows, hearts pulsed with anticipation, poised on the brink of divine intervention. What awaited them beyond the stone walls? Would faith triumph against the whispers of doubt? The days that followed Mr. Thompson's miraculous recovery swept through Larkhill like a rush of fresh rain. The air was electric with anticipation, every heartbeat with the hope that perhaps, just perhaps, miracles were not just stories spun in whispers. Yet, there remained a palpable unease lingering like a shadow over the village, as if doubt clung to the very fabric of their souls. Elizabeth felt it too. Each day, as she watched her children play, laughter ringing out like songs of gratitude, a part of her remained restless. What did it truly mean to be chosen? What weight did the sacred contract of their family carry? These questions echoed in her mind, the answers just beyond her reach. She sensed there were still more layers to unveil, yet the village seemed hesitant, fearful of the truths that might emerge. Gathered again under the old oak tree, the villagers listened, their faces painted with a palette of curiosity and skepticism. Elizabeth stood before them, heart racing, her hands clasped together as if in prayer. Dear friends, each miracle is a beacon, guiding us to truths higher than we comprehend. These stories are not merely history, they illuminate our path forward. Her voice rang with urgency, echoing off the stone walls surrounding them. Emma and Benjamin stood beside her, their small faces alight with zeal. Mommy, can we tell them what we found? Benjamin pleaded, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Elizabeth nodded, her heart swelling with pride as her children stepped forward. Did you know? Emma began, a hint of mischief in her tone. Our great-grandparents were part of a great revival. People came from far and wide seeking healing, and they prayed at this very chapel. Their faith ignited miracles. Murmurs filled the crowd, weaving through the gathered faces. Elizabeth held her breath, hoping the stories would kindle the flickering embers of belief. That's what's happening again. We are part of something divine. Benjamin exclaimed, his small fists raised in fervor, but whispers rose, aching with uncertainty. Can we truly believe? Is it even feasible that we could be part of such a grand design? One villager questioned, the doubt causing a ripple of tension. Elizabeth felt that same doubt pulse through her own veins, yet deep within, a warmth began to radiate. What if we are meant to awaken our faith? What if our lineage carries a promise, unbroken through the ages? She implored, her voice steady now, thrumming with conviction. What if our trials are gateways leading us to heal not only our hearts but the community as a whole? The atmosphere shifted, possibility mingling with fear, casting shadows that danced under the warm sun. Hearts began to stir, and one by one, the villagers nodded, emboldened by Elizabeth's passion. Then, just as spirits began to lift, a sudden gust of wind swept through the oak branches, sending leaves swirling like fiery confetti. A hush fell across them as they collectively caught their breath, sensing something pulsating in the air, an invitation to trust, to explore deeper. Elizabeth closed her eyes, allowing herself to be embraced by that divine warmth once more. What is God asking of us today? She whispered, feeling a presence stirring, beckoning her to dive into the sacred mystery ahead. The weight of uncertainty lifted slightly as a soft voice floated to her mind. You will discover the heart of your family's contract, but first, you must confront your doubts head-on. As the village held its breath, an electric silence filled the air, thick with expectation. What would lie ahead in their journey? What divine revelations awaited as they stepped into the unknown? The answer danced just beyond visibility, waiting for them to take the next step. As the last whisper of wind settled, the villagers exchanged anxious glances, their breaths caught in the web of possibility woven around them. Elizabeth felt the weight of their expectation, a tangible thread connecting every heart and soul. The questions hung in the air, heavy, yet filled with promise. Shall we open ourselves to more than what we see? Elizabeth finally asked, her voice soft, the urgency giving way to a gentle reassurance. What if the path ahead requires us to lay bare our doubts, to share our burdens? In that moment, a flicker of courage ignited in her heart, and she stepped closer to the crowd. Is anyone here willing to open their heart? To voice the questions that linger in the shadows? A silence blanketed the group, then Sarah, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, stepped forward. I felt lost, like a branch severed from its tree. Can I really believe again? Elizabeth's heart warmed at Sarah's release. Yes, my dear, she exclaimed, encouraging her. Your voice matters. Together, we can unearth the strength that lies within our community. Little by little, others began to respond, each voice breaking through the silence like a pebble cast into still water. But what if we're unworthy? What if our past binds us? Can faith really change our lives? Each spoken doubt pulled them deeper into a shared experience, a tapestry of struggle and hope. Elizabeth stood tall, strengthened by their vulnerability. My friends, doubts are simply stepping stones. They guide us closer to God's truths. Our family's history holds miracles that can illuminate our future. Just as the sun rises each day, so can hope renew in us. The wind rustled through the leaves again, a gentle caress that felt like divine affirmation. Benjamin and Emma echoed their mother's conviction, their small voices rising with fervor. That's right. Our great-grandparents showed us that fear was a lock, but faith is the key. With each declaration, Elizabeth felt the chains of uncertainty uncoil. She closed her eyes again, no longer seeking answers for herself but inviting them collectively into the divine embrace she sensed hovering near. Let us pray together, friends. Let the burdens flow from our lips as we ask for guidance. As they bowed their heads, a wave of faith surged through Larkhill's gathered hearts. Soft whispers of hope mingled in the air, the village transformed as if the sun brightened the earth around them. Each prayer, each plea, climbed to the heavens, swirling in vibrant colors of faith and renewal. When they finished, an unfamiliar warmth enveloped them. What is this feeling? Emma whispered, eyes wide. A stillness lingered, electric and alive, as if the very fabric of the universe responded to their collective yearning. Elizabeth opened her eyes, witnessing awe in the faces around her. Do you see? We are not merely seeds in the soil, we are trees destined to grow. In that instant, the oak tree stood more majestic, its ancient branches weaving, welcoming, a physical witness to their spiritual quest. Yet, within that beauty, a question crackled in the air like thunder: what further truths await us? Elated yet mindful, Elizabeth felt destiny stir once more. Something greater is unfolding. Our family and all of Larkhill will encounter more miracles, but we must keep our hearts open. What if we are called to share our journey beyond these borders? Curiosity brewed, possibilities lingered like dewdrops on petals in the dawn. Can we venture with courage? She asked, inspiring a hopeful chorus among the villagers. As they pondered their next steps into the divine mystery ahead, the promise of greater revelations unfolded like a fading sunset, drawing them towards the twilight of discovery. Little did they know, the next chapter would unveil truths not just about themselves, but the very essence of destiny woven into their family's sacred contract. Did they possess the strength to embrace the journey that awaited? The answer was wrapped in the next rising wind, calling to their spirits. The dawn broke over Larkhill, painting the sky in hues of gold and soft lavender. As the sun climbed higher, the villagers slowly emerged from their homes, hearts still carrying the warmth of their prayers. Elizabeth stood beside the great oak tree, its branches swaying gently, as if sharing secrets with the wind. She felt an invisible thread link her to each villager, all poised on the brink of transformation. Today is a gift, Elizabeth declared, her voice ringing clear as the morning bell. Let us seek the truths that await us. We stand not only as neighbors but as a family bound by faith and purpose. A hush fell over the crowd, eyes bright with curiosity and anticipation. Benjamin tugged at his mother's sleeve, whispering, "What do you think God has in store for us?" His innocent inquiry echoed deep within Elizabeth's heart. She knelt to meet his gaze. "I believe we are about to discover our purpose in ways we never imagined." The collective energy imbued the air, a potential bursting to life. William, a stoic farmer known for his wisdom, stepped forward, his weathered hands trembling slightly. "Elizabeth, we have faced many storms together. But what if pursuing this journey means facing even greater challenges?" His voice wavered with both doubt and determination. "What if, instead, these challenges are our stepping stones?" Elizabeth responded, mirroring his bravery. "What if each hurdle is an invitation to grow closer to our destiny? Remember, every trial can shape us, rather, it can mold us into the instruments of blessing for our own families." The villagers stirred with renewed interest. Emma nodded enthusiastically, her eyes sparkling. "Yes. Like when we planted the seeds. They had to break open before they could bloom." A ripple of understanding spread through the crowd. Elizabeth sensed the acknowledgement of shared struggle brushing like the breeze against their backs. Indeed. Just as a butterfly must struggle to emerge, so too will we wrestle through our uncertainties. At that moment, a curious presence seemed to weave among them. The warmth surrounding them intensified and a whisper of divine assurance echoed in her heart, "Fear not, for I am with you." The assurance seemed to flow into each soul, igniting faith anew. As laughter erupted and conversations blossomed, Sarah brought forth a basket of wildflowers, symbolizing their shared journey. "Let each blossom remind us of our growth and unity," she announced, smiling. The villagers took their flowers, vibrant colors blooming in their hands against the lush green. "Let us seek our command together," Elizabeth encouraged, her spirit buoyed by the collective hope. "Let us share stories of our forebears, for their wisdom waits to guide us." As each individual spoke, the threads of their family's histories wove a rich tapestry beneath the ancient oak. The tales shared were stories of trials overcome, faith steadfastly held, miracles manifested in times of need, and unresolved questions still echoing through generations. Then, as the sun ascended and illuminated their sacred gathering, the atmosphere shifted. An unexpected hush fell over the assembly. A voice broke through the quiet. It was Benjamin. "What if our journey takes us to places we have never been? Can we change the future?" His question hung in the air, resonating with something profound. Each person stood still, contemplating this immense possibility. Change, with all its apprehensions and exhilarating prospects, stirred in them a daring hope. "Ah, little one," Elizabeth said with a soft smile, "we can. Today isn't an end but a beginning. Our family's sacred contract holds greater mysteries than we know. Are we prepared to discover what lies beyond our familiar borders?" A gentle nod followed, igniting eyes with fire and wonder. The wind swirled, teasing them with whispers of what awaited. Yet, Elizabeth felt the pull of something more stirring within. She turned her gaze to the horizon, that familiar spirit beckoning her onward. Do we dare to step into the unknown, trusting that greater truths and divine secrets are waiting for us? Can we take this journey together? As a mosaic of faces reflected determination and fear, a spark of adventure ignited. The mystery of their next step loomed large. What revelations lay before them, little did they know. The winds of destiny carried promises born of both light and shadow, woven intricately with their lives and loves, for what awaited them was more than an adventure, it was the very heartbeat of their existence. The villagers stood together beneath the great oak, their hearts beating in rhythm to the gentle breeze. Elizabeth, emboldened by their unity, raised her hands, inviting the sacred silence that spoke volumes. All eyes focused on her, anticipation shimmering in the air like dew on grass. "Together, we will embark on a journey, one that may take us to places far beyond these familiar paths," she began, her voice steady, yet filled with the tremor of holy excitement. "Today, we uncover what makes our family strong and how each trial has been a thread in this grand tapestry that God has woven." Benjamin's small voice rang out again, clear and questioning. "Will we meet new friends? What if they need our help?" His innocence stirred something profound within the group, a reminder that they held the power to impact the world. "Ah, dear Benjamin," Elizabeth replied, kneeling to his height once more. "Every soul we meet adds richness to our story. Sometimes we don't realize how we can be their answer in times of need." A chorus of amens and nods rippled through the villagers. As Elizabeth spoke, she recalled a vision from last night, the shimmering outlines of faces they had yet to meet, souls aching for connection, healing, and hope. She felt their energies intertwining with her own, ready to guide them to new realities. "Let us first gather in prayer," William suggested, his voice a calm anchor amidst growing excitement. Taking charge, he led them in a heartfelt plea for guidance, inviting the presence of the divine to bless their gathering and their journey ahead. The air crackled with a holy charge. Eyes closed, hands joined, and a profound stillness descended, a sweet surrender to the sacred moments together. As they prayed, warmth enveloped them, as if the embrace of heaven itself wrapped around their hearts. Upon opening their eyes, Elizabeth felt a shift. Today is not just about our stories or our hopes. It's also about understanding the deeper meaning behind our family's trials. She shared how struggles were not merely obstacles, but stepping stones, pushing them toward divine purpose. Her words sent ripples of realization through the crowd. Emma lifted her chin, recalling her own hardships. "In my darkest moments, I felt unseen. But somehow, I found the light." Her voice wavered, resonating with many who had faced their own shadows. "Yes," another villager echoed. "It was in our shared grief that we discovered joy. Those struggles became sacred ground for our faith." A chorus of affirmations erupted, voices rising together to fill the morning sky. Elizabeth's heart soared with each shared truth, reflecting the light of hope and resilience among them. Yet, deep down, a flicker of uncertainty lingered. "But we must remember," she continued, "it is God who creates the path. We must remain open to whichever way He leads us, even if the journey is unnerving." Suddenly, the gentle warmth enveloping them felt charged, alive. Elizabeth sensed an urgent calling, the air thick with anticipation. "Beloved family, beyond our comfort zone lies our true calling. Are we ready to embrace the unknown?" "Yes," someone shouted, and a surge of energy pulsed through the group. "Then let us rise in faith and venture forth," Elizabeth proclaimed, emboldened by their fervent response. "With love as our compass and trust as our guide, let us be open to the miracles awaiting us." As they extended their hands, forming a circle around the ancient oak, Elizabeth felt a stirring like never before. The essence of their gathering swelled into a force so great that she knew it was more than just a physical journey. They were embarking on something sacred, but as the last echoes of their cheers faded, a whisper unfurled in her spirit, an invitation to pause. Will we allow our hearts to be changed? Will we be ready when the call comes, veiled in mystery? In that moment, the collective air thickened with possibilities. Each villager felt the tremors of the unknown as they looked ahead, excitement mingling with fear, knowing that something extraordinary awaited them just beyond the horizon. For in their hands rested not only flowers, but seeds of change, ready to bloom into a future echoing with divine promise. What awaited them beyond the horizon was still a question hanging, tantalizingly in the air. As the sun began to lift higher, casting warm golden rays through branches of the great oak, Elizabeth felt an invigorating spirit wash over the villagers. There was a certain crackling energy in the air, something sacred stirring within each heart. "Beloved family," she called out, her voice strong and melodic, "let us share our dreams. What does our heart long for on this journey?" Curious glances passed among the villagers, a soft hum of contemplation filling the space. One by one, they opened their mouths to share what lay nestled deep within. "I dream of healing," Emma shared, her voice resonant with resolve. "Not only for myself but for our community. Every wound carries the hope of restoration." "Me too." Benjamin piped up again, his eyes bright. "I want to help everyone feel loved. I want to see their faces smile." A round of affirmations followed, both loud and soft, enveloping Benjamin as he grinned with innocent joy. "I have been yearning for connection," William murmured, his expression a mixture of hope and vulnerability. "I want to see bridges built where there has been division. Our family is so strong, but I believe we can strengthen others too." As they shared, a clarity began to settle in the air. Each word woven together crafted a beautiful vision, expanding beyond their immediate circle, drawing in those unseen souls just waiting for love to ripple their way. Elizabeth found herself overwhelmed with emotion. The journey stretched larger than mere physical travel, it was a movement of the spirit. "These desires connect us," she whispered, feeling the weight of their shared dreams. "They are not just dreams, they are divine invitations. God is calling us towards something profound." The villagers nodded, agreement blooming like wildflowers. "But what if we fail?" A soft voice questioned from the back, an echo of fear creeping in. "What if we stumble along the way?" Tension crackled, wrapping itself around them like a tight hug, but a gentle breeze rustled through the branches, offering a counterbalance. Elizabeth stepped forward, her heart open and raw. "Oh, dear friends, embracing the unknown means accepting our imperfections. Struggles reveal our strength, and as we keep our eyes on God, He will lead us." They stood in a renewed circle of prayer, the gentle breeze carrying their fears away, like autumn leaves dancing in the air. Hope flickered bright as they continued to share their dreams. The shyest among them spoke too, their dreams merging and intertwining with a divine purpose. As the prayers continued, something shifted above them. A light, bright yet soft, filtered through the leaves, pooling on the ground beneath their feet. It felt alive, with an essence that filled every soul gathered. Suddenly, a voice, a whisper from the heavens pierced the sacred silence. "Are you ready for the journey? Are you willing to embrace the unknown with open hearts?" Every villager felt the delicate weight of that question, settling upon their shoulders as gently as the morning dew. "Yes." They responded collectively, voices echoing with renewed fervor, but while their hearts soared, Elizabeth felt a tug within her own spirit. There was a deeper truth stirring, one not yet revealed. What exactly does this journey hold for us? She mused aloud, her tone steadying the collective anticipation. As if an answer, the ground vibrated softly beneath them, a subtle reminder that something would soon shift. Each villager felt it, a prickling sensation snaking up their spines, ensuring that their sacred contract was about to unfold. What awaited them in the uncharted paths of destiny? A question hung tantalizingly, drawing them deeper into the mystery of faith and divine engagement. With such vast, unfolding dreams before them, they stood on the precipice of something extraordinary, willing to take the leap together, yet completely unaware of the wonders that awaited them beyond their circle. Could they truly embrace their sacred calling when the path emerged, shrouded in divine mystery? The air thickened with a palpable anticipation, as though the very threads of reality were weaving together a tapestry of destiny. Elizabeth looked around at the faces of her beloved villagers, each was glowing with a yearning spirit, each a fragile lamp ready to ignite. "Friends," she said softly, her words flowing like a river through an eager landscape, "let us not simply wait for this journey to reveal itself. We must take steps into the unknown, trusting that God will guide our feet." The group stirred, murmurs mingling with the rustling leaves around them. Their hearts beat in unison, a holy rhythm that urged them forward into the unfolding mystery of divine love. "I feel it," Emma said, her voice trembling with excitement. "A stirring deeper than just dreams. It's like a promise." "Nay," interjected Benjamin, his eyes wide, "it's more than a promise. It's a mission. Like soldiers going into battle, fueled by hope and faith." "Aye, but we must remember our armor," William cautioned, his brow knit with seriousness. "In times of trial, we must shield ourselves with love and grace." Laughter bubbled up among them, a refreshing breeze pushing through the tension that had gathered moments before. Trust intertwined with awareness of their bond. They were not merely individuals, they were a collective body, destined to shine together. As their words danced upwards, a sudden rush surged through the crowd, an electric connection coursing between hands clasped in prayer, hearts laid bare. Suddenly, the light filtering through the oak intensified, bathing them in a warmth that fueled their animation. "Look!" shouted Benjamin, pointing upwards, where the light seemed to twist and dance like a playful spirit. "It's alive!" Something wonderful was unfolding above them, manifesting in brilliant colors that spiraled down. As the light enveloped them, Elizabeth felt a deep peace wash over her, filling her with assurance that they were on the brink of something holy and transformative. "Do you see?" she whispered, enthralled by the love cascading around them. "This light is our guidance. It embodies the promises we share." The villagers nodded in unison, their spirits lifting as hope streamed into their souls. A collective breath was taken, a divine sigh that filled the sacred air. Then, as if sensing their unity, the light began to swirl into shapes, whispering to them, revealing glimpses of the unknown path stretched before them. Each figment awakened an understanding that this was not merely their story, but a sacred contract written in the heavens. "What will we encounter?" Emma pondered aloud, her eyes sparkling with wonder. "Opportunities," shouted Benjamin, his infectious enthusiasm uncontainable. "Miracles. Friendships." "Yes," William added thoughtfully, "and challenges that will transform us." "Yet, we must remember, every trial is also a treasure, creating pathways to grace." A hush fell over the gathering as they considered this sacred truth. Every challenge could be the catalyst for healing, every stumble turn into a step toward greater joy. They felt it, a divine radiance settling into their hearts, connecting them intimately as a family held by promises bigger than themselves. As they embraced this burgeoning understanding, Elizabeth recalled the question posed earlier. "What does this journey truly hold for us?" It echoed softly, yet its weight invoked a ripple of excitement and trepidation among them. "Only faith can unveil that," she finally answered. "The unfolding path calls us to trust every twist and turn." The villagers settled into comfortable silence, minds swirling with possibilities. But what awaited them on this path? Each villager's eyes glimmered with unspoken questions. Deep inside, they sensed that this journey had already transformed them in ways they couldn't yet fathom. Would they be courageous enough to lean into the unknown? Would they allow their hearts to lead them forward, guided by a love that promised the extraordinary? The horizon lay ahead, shrouded in divine mystery, hinting at adventures yet to blossom in faith. What revelations might await them down this sacred road? As the twilight deepened, the vibrant colors of the light began to anchor into the hearts of the villagers. Each person felt as if the essence of their very being was touched. They stood rooted in that sacred moment, the air thick with divine energy, and every glance exchanged brimmed with a knowing, a profound spark of connection. "Can you feel it?" Emma breathed, her eyes bright, reflecting the glow that surrounded them. It's like being woven into something far greater than ourselves." Clarity washed over Elizabeth as she nodded. "We are part of this tapestry. Not one thread stands alone. Every joy, every sorrow, each one has a purpose." Her heart beat faster, ignited by the understanding that each of them brought a unique color to this sacred design. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the oak branches, rustling their leaves as if applauding their realization. The villagers laughed, their spirits dancing like the breeze that embraced them. In the symphony of nature's embrace, they understood the river of life flowed around and through them, a constant reminder of God's presence. "Friends," Benjamin called out, his voice rising above the laughter, "this is our calling. We cannot sit idle. We must venture forth." He struck a dramatic pose, hand over heart, eyes sparkling with zeal. "For we are the bearers of the light. We are here to shine." Their hearts resonated with his fervor. Elizabeth's voice rose once more as she urged, "Let us step together into the unknown, hand in hand. It is more than a leap of faith, it's a march toward our destiny." With that declaration, they formed a circle, clasping hands tightly. Elizabeth felt strength pouring into her from every hand gripped around her own. One by one, they shared what they hoped the journey would bring: a community healed, bonds forged in love, and strength found through trials. Unexpectedly, the light above seemed to pulse in response, a brilliant heartbeat echoing their unified intentions. It twisted and shimmered, and they realized it wasn't just illuminating them, it was urging them onward, beckoning them to take the first step. Suddenly, a vision flared forth. A vivid scene unfolded in the very air around them. They saw themselves helping the needy, lifting each other in times of struggle, and celebrating together, each scene more profound than the last. They witnessed their village coming alive, transformed by their love and faith. "I see gardens blooming," Emma exclaimed, eyes wide. "And laughter ringing. And hope spreading like wildfire." Her voice trembled with exhilaration, the whispers of divine affirmation wrapped around them. Each moment felt carved from eternity, a gentle reminder of the power each soul harnessed when united. Yet, through the beauty of these visions came fears, too. William's brow furrowed as another thought emerged. What of the storms ahead? What if we falter? His voice cut through the joyful anticipation, casting shadows momentarily over the brightness. "Every storm brings growth," Elizabeth responded, her voice steady. "We are promised not that our path will be easy, but that we will never walk it alone. We must embrace our challenges as blessings in disguise." The warmth of her words surged through them, lighting a hopeful flame against the encroaching uncertainties. "But what if we fail?" Benjamin murmured, vulnerability creeping into his tone. "What if we lose our way?" "Even in failing, there is finding," Elizabeth affirmed gently. "Remember, God's grace is greater than our fears. We must choose to trust." A hush fell as they absorbed her words. The light above flickered momentarily, as if echoing their thoughts. In that silence, the villagers felt a gentle nudge from the Spirit, beckoning them to look again. "Let us not cling to fear," Elizabeth encouraged, holding their gaze. "Let us focus on the light. Let us boldly claim our mission." With renewed courage, they each raised their heads high, smiles brimming with newfound determination. Beyond their fears lay an adventure drenched in divine promise. As they prepared to take their first steps into the unfolding unknown, a soft rustle caught their attention. A figure emerged from the mist, a silhouette shrouded in the very light they had felt. It stood at the edge of their circle, a presence resonating with profound mystery. "Who is this?" They whispered to one another, their hearts pounding with a mix of wonder and apprehension. The figure stepped closer, enveloped in radiance, and the villagers sensed that their sacred journey was about to take a breathtaking turn. The figure emerged from the golden mist, shimmering brightly as it approached. Its presence felt warm, a soothing balm against the uncertainty lingering in the hearts of the villagers. Eyes widened in awe, breaths held in anticipation, they knew this encounter carried significance. "Do not be afraid," the figure spoke, its voice a gentle melody, akin to a whisper gently stirring the leaves of a quiet forest. "You have called forth this moment with your fierce desire to serve and shine. I am here to guide you." "Who are you?" Benjamin asked, his voice barely above a whisper, filled with mixture of wonder and respect. "I am a messenger," the figure replied, "sent to show you the path ahead, to reveal the sacred contract that binds each of you to your destiny. You are woven together by more than just bonds of friendship. You are threads of purpose, each essential, each needed." As these words sank in, Elizabeth felt an electric charge fill the air. "What do you mean?" she asked, her spirit both curious and hopeful. The light you felt tonight is not merely for illumination, the messenger continued. It is the manifestation of your collective love and faith. Each of you brings forth a unique strength and echo of God's perfect design. It paused, allowing the weight of those words to settle in the hearts of the villagers. Look around you, the figure gestured, and in an instant, the world shimmered. The oak trees transformed momentarily into trees laden with fruit, abundant, lively, and flourishing. You will bear fruit. You will nourish one another and those who wander into your midst. Tears welled in Emma's eyes. But how do we begin? The challenges seem so great. Ah, dear one, the messenger said, moving closer still, the light around it shifting to a calmer glow, enveloping her like a warm hug. Your first step is understanding 7 miraculous reasons you were all born into this sacred family, the core tenets of your mission together. The villagers leaned in closer, eager to absorb every word. First, the figure stated, you are called to bring healing to broken hearts. There is a palpable thirst for connection in this world. Allow your hands to be instruments of His healing grace. The weight of the message hung in the air, settling gently like petals from a blooming flower. Second, it continued, your laughter shall be a balm to the weary. Joy connects souls just as significantly as pain separates them. The scene shifted again, showcasing their village where laughter echoed through homes and streets, etching smiles into lives that had long felt heavy. Third, the figure declared, you are entrusted with hope. In a world filled with despair, let your lives be a testament of unwavering hope rooted in faith. Each villager felt a shift inside, a realization that they carried seeds of that hope, ready to blossom. And fourth, it ventured, you are here to amplify each other's strengths, to stand as pillars of support in times of trial. Together, there is nothing you cannot overcome. Fifth, it added with a glimmer of joy, you will create a sanctuary, a place where the hungry gather, the lost find solace, and love is boundless. Elizabeth's heart surged. The family they had become would reflect the love of God in every act of kindness they could muster. Sixth, the messenger continued, you will be the torchbearers of truth. In a world of half-truths, your courage will shine, and the light brighten momentarily, a blazing star in the night sky. And lastly, the figure's tone shifted to one of reverence, you are each reflections of divine creativity. Let your gifts explode like a sudden dawn, lighting the way for others. A hush of reverence enveloped the villagers. They felt moved, compelled by the visions displayed and the sacred mission laid before them. Now, rise and embrace each moment, the figure encouraged, stepping back into the mist gradually. Your journey begins now, woven together in love and faith. As the light began to fade and the figure retreated into the shimmering fog, the villagers stood awestruck, hearts alight with a profound purpose. They realized that the mapping of their expedition was not merely about tasks to accomplish, but hearts and souls intertwined in a divine mystery beyond their understanding. With determination set, Elizabeth looked at her friends. Shall we step forward as one? And as they nodded in agreement, the question of their future hung brightly in the air, what awaited them on this sacred path? As the sun began to set on the horizon, casting bold strokes of orange and pink across the Larkhill sky, a collective sense of purpose ignited among the villagers. They stood united, holding on to the messenger's words, secrets now sealed within their hearts. Elizabeth, feeling the warmth of camaraderie, stepped forward, the weight of destiny upon her shoulders. Friends, we have glimpsed our purpose, she declared with fervor, her voice unwavering. Together, we can make waves of healing. Together, we are called to shine. Let us embrace this sacred contract as we step into our journey. She felt the electric energy of agreement pulsate through those gathered around her. Benjamin's small voice rang out, filled with innocent conviction. Do you think we can turn Larkhill into a place of joy and healing? Laughter broke the tension, and the villagers nodded as if awakening from a long slumber. Each person stood aware of the divine tapestry woven among them, every thread bringing its unique vibrancy to life. They understood now, their struggles were not in vain, they were channels to something greater. Let us take our first step into the community, Emma chirped, a bright light in her mother's eyes. We can start by reaching out to the village and asking how we can help. With hearts illuminated, they moved together toward the center of Larkhill, hands clasped, feet pounding down the dirt path in joyful unison. The ancient oak behind them seemed to sway with approval, as if the spirit of their forebears celebrated their newfound mission. As they approached the village square, the first hesitant faces appeared. Sarah, who had shared her doubts days before, stepped forward. "What is this surge I feel?" she asked, bright-eyed. Elizabeth met her gaze, her heart beaming with warmth. "It is the fire of love, dear friend," Elizabeth replied, her voice soothing the fear lingering in Sarah's heart. "It's the awakening of faith. Together we will be the vessels of goddess love in action." Others gathered, their fresh curiosity piqued. What was it that had transformed this quiet group into a symphony of belief? Snippets of conversations caught the wind as villagers exchanged ideas, dreams, and long-held worries. They recalled the messenger's promise, a spark igniting within, a reminder of their own potential. As Elizabeth and the children moved toward the center, they began to share stories of their family's history, revealing the struggles and triumphs of ancestors. Each tale built a bridge of understanding, dispelling the shadows of doubt that lingered. "I remember a time when my mother healed a neighbor with just a touch and a prayer," offered William, his voice filled with reverence. "It taught me that every act of kindness ripples like ripples on water far beyond what we can see." "Exactly!" exclaimed Emma, her eyes alight. "Together we are stronger. Let us host gatherings of healing where people can talk about their struggles and leave feeling lighter." The villagers nodded, discussions fluttering like leaves caught in a gentle breeze. Each heart was stirred by the fire of possibility, grasping the deeper significance of their mission, changing not just their lives, but the very fabric of their community. Across the square, whispers turned into plans, and suddenly, laughter erupted. Little Benjamin bounced on his toes. "Let's create a festival. A day to celebrate every miracle, big and small." The laughter melded with sounds of determination. They talked about creating banners of welcome, inviting people to share their stories, their fears, their joys. Each idea glimmered as Elizabeth guided the conversation with a steady heart, trusting Goddess Light would guide them on this compassionate expedition. As dusk descended, the village square came alive with plans, promises, and the hum of hope. In that serendipitous moment, Elizabeth realized they were on the precipice of something much greater, a true revival anchored in love's embrace. Days turned into weeks, and the air in Larkhill thickened with expectation. People came from all corners, drawn by the radiant energy emanating from the villagers. The Festival of Healing unfolded, an event that would become a beacon for those languishing under burdens too heavy to carry alone. As the festival approached, they decorated the square with vibrant colors, illuminating hearts and hopes. Tables were filled with tender offerings, food, laughter, kind words draped across the souls who had gathered in solidarity. When the day finally dawned bright and clear, Elizabeth felt the pulse of divine presence thrumming just beneath the surface. The square teemed with life as families, neighbors, and new faces arrived. "This is it!" she exclaimed, her heart full to bursting. And as voices promised to uplift and restore, the congregation unfolded. Every moment surged with testimonies of transformation, healing prayers poured forth like cleansing rain, flowers of joy sprinkled the ground, and every person stood together, knowing they were part of something holy and profound. Under the warmth of the sun, as prayers and laughter filled the air, Elizabeth closed her eyes, gratitude washing over her. "Thank you, Lord," she whispered, "for this sacred blessing. We honor our contract today and every day." The crowd erupted in a unified response, their voices strong and true. "Amen," echoed through the square, flourishing in faith. As night fell and stars began to twinkle high above, Elizabeth stood hand in hand with her children beneath the great oak, feeling the spirit of all those who came before them imbuing strength and light into their every step. She understood, in those final moments, the weight of their sacred calling, a promise to love, heal, and shine bright in every corner of their world. And so, as the festival culminated into a breathtaking finale bathed in love and hope, the villagers of Larkhill embraced their destiny, one that would resonate through generations, binding them far beyond time, tethered by their unyielding faith and the sacred contract they had all signed in their hearts. Now, the torch lit in promise, glistened with divine assurance. This was the beginning of their journey, where one step forward unveiled countless miracles. So, beloved friend, are you ready to begin your journey? If you felt touched by this story, you need to subscribe immediately to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith-filled episodes that can inspire your life. Leave a like now. It's your way of feeding the algorithm that feeds these beautiful stories to others. Please comment your thoughts, reactions, and testimonies about how this story moved you. Each word encourages us, and share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Don't wait even one more second. Only true servants of God understand the importance of spreading hope and faith. Let us be the light together.